Today we're making braised beef ribs, a hearty meal bursting with fresh flavors. We're building layers of flavor the old school way, a hard sear, a rich braise, and hours of gentle heat. No fancy tricks, no shortcuts, just deep, comforting flavor. So let's dive in. For this recipe, you'll need roughly 8 short beef ribs, 3 carrots, an onion, beef broth, dry red wine, olive oil, salt and pepper, flour, tomato paste, thyme, and rosemary. We'll begin by generously salting our beef ribs. We want to get a nice and even layer of salt, coating all sides of the ribs. Salt not only enhances flavor, but it also tenderizes and helps to retain moisture in the beef. Once all sides are coated, we'll swap on over and add some pepper. The classic combination of salt and pepper is iconic, and in a lot of cases, it's very hard to beat. Add the amount that seems right to you. As always, you can add more or less pepper depending on your taste and situations. In the end, they should look like this. Isn't that so pretty? Yum. Next, we'll set up a little prep station. I like to put the beef ribs on one side and the flour in the middle and an empty plate on the other. Take the ribs one at a time, coating each side thoroughly with flour. This will help sear the beef by removing moisture from the surface of the meat. Repeat the process until all your ribs have been evenly coated. In the end, it should look like you've got a big plate of Turkish delights. We're bringing out the braiser because this is braised beef ribs. Into the braiser, we're going to add some olive oil in a nice and even layer. Set the heat to medium-high and allow the oil to heat before adding in diced carrots and onions. We're going to cook this down and stir occasionally for a few minutes. We're looking for our onions to get slightly translucent and our carrots to soften up a little bit. Something that looks a little bit like this. Once we're happy with our veggies, we'll remove them from the heat and set them aside. Next up is the beef ribs. We'll introduce some more olive oil and bring it up to heat just like we did for the veggies. Add in your ribs in the braiser and be sure to give them space. We don't want to crowd the beef as it could cause steaming and take away that beautiful sear that we're trying to achieve. And that would be sad. If you need to cook them in batches, feel free to do so. On average, it should take anywhere from 45 seconds to a minute and a half to achieve a sear like this. Once all your beef has been seared, it's time to deglaze the pan. Pour roughly a cup of dry red wine into the pan. I'm using Pinot Noir. I don't have a particular reason. It's just a wine I like to drink. Next, take a wooden spatula and scrape the bottom of the pan to remove any of those brown bits that are stuck. This is called fond because it's full of flavor and it lays the foundation for the pan sauce. Top it off with 2.5 cups of beef broth and our tomato paste. I like to break it up using a wooden spoon, but be careful as the liquid is hot and you definitely don't want to burn yourself. That would suck. Finish with a couple dashes of salt, a little bit of pepper, and give it a mix till it's all nice and incorporated. Here's the taste test. And there's the spoon wag of approval. Remember, you can always add more salt, but you can't take it away, so be sure to taste as you go. We're at the finishing stages. Add back in your slightly cooked veggies and place the beef into our braising mixture. And be sure at least part of the beef is submerged into the broth. Next, we'll take our fresh herbs and place them in the broth. This will infuse a lot of fresh flavors, and by placing them in the broth, it will prevent your herbs from burning in the oven. Get them in there, don't be shy, like a New York subway, jam-packed, hot, and ready to go. Place the lid back on and send it off to a trip to the oven. We're going to cook it for 2 hours at 350 degrees, and then an additional 45 minutes at 325 degrees. The hard work's done. Pour yourself a glass and hang out. Take in the aromas. Boom! 2 hours and 45 minutes have passed. And look what you've made. Serve it up on some mashed potatoes and be sure to add the sauce. If you've gotten any value from this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and be sure to tune in to the next one.